Today we're taking a look at Duet Night Abyss, a fresh out of the oven action RPG that looks great and has some very interesting mechanics. My aim for this video is to walk you through its core components, what makes it stand out, and what you need to know. DNA is still in beta, so the actual gameplay and content could vary from its live launch, but it's shaping up to be a pretty unique gacha in this space. Before we dive in, I do want to give a massive thanks to Duet Night Abyss for sponsoring this video. Make sure to pre-register using the link in the description and pinned comment to keep up to date and help us reach those juicy milestone rewards. As is pretty typical, at the start of the game you can choose between a male or female main character. But what's definitely not typical is that you can also choose the gender of the second protagonist. You can experience dual narrative storylines in certain chapters, but I'll refrain from spoiling anything. Talking about combat mechanics, the first and most obvious thing I want to point out is the free switching of weapons. There aren't ranged and melee characters in DNA. All characters can use ranged and melee weapons, which you can instantly swap between in the middle of combat. The range attacks are very third-person shooter-esque, which honestly is really refreshing. It feels more like actual shooting than some vague idea of an attack that can hit enemies further away, if you know what I mean. The flexibility to use melee with one button and instantly switch to firing a gun with a reticle is pretty satisfying. And because all characters can hold on to all weapon types, you have a ton of freedom, but we'll dive more into that later. The ranged weapons do have ammo, and you have a limited number of ammunition. However, from my experience, the enemies drop so much ammo that that's not really a concern. It might be different in different circumstances or with different weapons, so take that with a grain of salt. Another thing that's different from the current selection is, well, this isn't a team game. That's not exactly true. You can have up to 2 combat partners, like these 2 I have here, but as far as I can tell, they just do their own thing. You do not have control over them. You cannot swap to them. So there is definitely a main character, whoever you choose that to be. And for me personally, I kind of like that. I just like min-maxing, focusing on one specific character, and then, the side characters, they're at least not as important, Also, I assume, at least partially because of this, abilities have no cooldowns, including the ultimate. Instead, they rely on the sanity resource, which you gain in various ways depending on the character. Some can basically straight up replace their normal attack with a special ability, which is pretty cool, or you can just build up your sanity for a big ultimate. There's also a really interesting combo system. As you continually attack enemies, you get a score here, and upon doing a charge attack, you consume that combo to increase the power of that attack. So even without having additional teammates, there's still plenty to pay attention to, especially with the fact that, from what I've seen so far, the enemy density is pretty wild. Finally, AoE attacks matter again. Talking about movement, one little thing I appreciate is look at this clip. I'm jumping at the wall, but not attaching to it. To do so, I must jump twice to do a wall jump. This prevents one of the most annoying things I experience in other games, accidental wall grabs. Speaking of parkour, DNA has some nice movement mechanics. We got double jump, which is pretty self-explanatory. You can slide, which isn't a really new thing, but not something I've seen in the genre. You can also jump out of a slide to get extra distance, called a helix jump, and we even have aerial combat, which is pretty sick. But alright, it's time we talk about gacha. Compared to the competition though, it's actually quite good. The actual rates and pity system are the same as others like Genshin at 0.6% and 90 pulls for a 5-star, but do you notice something? Yep, 100% chance for the rate up character, no 50-50. Now, I should note this is only for the first character when a banner drops. After that, it has the 50-50 for duplicates. Also with the same system that if you lose the 50-50, the next one is guaranteed to be the banner unit. But still, characters are plenty good without duplicates, so this is a massive improvement. Besides that, with just 40 pulls on the beginner banner, you're not only guaranteed a 5-star, you can choose which one you get. I wouldn't be comfortable actually recommending one since the game is still in beta, but Fantasio does have a beam attack, so just say it. I do like that you can playtest them all from this screen to get an idea of who you like the most. Weapon gacha is better too. No 50-50s either, and that even persists if you're crazy enough to get duplicates. But regardless, you can just craft 5-star weapons anyway. We'll talk more about that later also. I do also want to talk about character progression mechanics. We do have the standard level up. These materials are like XP books, so we can do that. And then we can ascend them to get to the next star level, and they'll start needing some more unique materials that drop from enemies or commissions. On the second ascension, we actually get a new trait. We are also getting additional demon wedge slots, which we will talk about later, so on and so forth, all the way up until the max level of 80. When it comes to weapons, it's pretty much the same. Need some standard XP materials to raise the level and some more specialized materials for the ascensions. Again, a very familiar system. If you get duplicates for the weapon, you can also refine them and increase their main passive. We also have customizable cosmetics per character, so I think that's really nice. We can do lots of things, honestly. Oh, cool kitsune mask. Lots of cute little accessories. Could you just have like a sprout? That is so funny. Button eyes. I honestly don't really care about cosmetics and accessories and stuff, but for some reason in this sort of like situation, it feels like it not only makes so much sense, but is like super cool. Oh, dude, that's actually pretty sick. You can have wings. We also have like a completely different outfit as well. Geez, that is pretty. Okay, we're gonna equip that for sure. I mean, the cosmetics are very creative as well. Like, I don't think I've ever seen stuff like this before. You could just have okay, that's, oh, we got a little capybara resting on her head. That's so cute. Okay, we gotta keep cute little dinosaur bro. Speaking of cosmetics, you can also change the color of weapons in 4 different sections here. So if we wanted to follow the same color scheme she has on right now, I mean, I might swap this weapon at one point, but we can do that. You know, I think we go white blade though. That looks really good. Black sword with white balls. But yeah, she can equip anything. Just like all the characters can equip anything. That's really cool. For now, we're just gonna go with her signature weapon and change it around a little bit to match her outfit. I'm not sure that's the exact blue, but we'll give it a couple of yellow accents and then white for the rest. I think that looks really good. Oh wait, never mind. We just have a special one anyway, which we could still color if we wanted to. And it can look like that. This is all the same weapon. We could still change it though if we really wanted to. Just like make it pure white. Actually, that does kind of look good. Just like a pure silver weapon there. But we'll just stick to default for now. And yes, we can also equip accessories to the weapon. Ooh, gold music note. We also got the ranged weapons, which I do want to do a demonstration for. But for now, sure, let's just go for this pistol. Taking a look at skills, there are 4 main types of skills. 3 of them you can see here, damage, buff, and passive. Some characters like Hilda here replace one of the first 2 with summon. The first one I would say is the main skill, and I do like that they have a little preview window here. The second skill is the ultimate, and in many units' case, it's a transformative ultimate, aka buff, that transforms them and their attacks to do more damage or some other utility. And passive is self-explanatory, things that just happen by themselves pretty much. We of course do need various resources to upgrade these. I think it'll get pretty boring if I try and explain where all the resources come from, but if you've played other gachas like Genshin, you will have some idea. We have Intron, which is the constellation equivalent. If you get duplicates of the character, you can unlock various buffs. I3 and I5 seem to be talent upgrades. We got +2 for one and +1 for a different one, so not just +3 to 1 it seems. All right, now we got to talk about the Demon Wedge system. This looks very complicated and overwhelming, so I'm going to try and keep it short, but basically these are equipable items, very similar to artifacts if you play Genshin. There are a couple really cool things with the system though. First of all, you can have up to 3 different sets for each character, etc. And secondly, as you upgrade these demon wedges, there's no RNG involved. We can see what happens before we hit the upgrade button. Whether there's RNG in getting these items in the first place and how much there is, I'm not sure of those specifics, but regardless, this takes out probably the most frustrating source of RNG from stuff like this. Some of the demon wedges are just straight up stats like this first one, you know, attack HP, def, morale. Some have pretty unique effects though, like increasing damage dealt by 24% when attacking off-balance enemies. We are currently capped out on tolerance, which means all of these combined equal 105 tolerance. So at this point, we cannot upgrade anymore because it says tolerance cap exceeded, the demon wedge will be removed. As you raise your characters, you can increase this number. Besides the character, you can equip demon wedges on their melee weapon, on their ranged weapon, and also on their consonance weapon. The consonance weapon is kind of just a part of the character, and there's nothing you can really do with that except equip demon wedges to it. It says down here they cannot be swapped or enhanced. It's just their thing, I guess. Of course, since all melee and ranged weapons can be shared between characters, that's a different story. One of the things I'm most interested in is the forging system. And yeah, here in the weapon tab, that is just like a gacha weapon, right? Well, there is this one currently for the raid up unit. That would be pretty wild if this one's already in there. Yep, there it is. We're gonna go ahead and start forging to see how it works, but obviously I do want to know how we get these materials so we can speed up forging as well. We need 3 toy hammers for those 3 hours. We're gonna go ahead and do it. We can just claim it, and there we go. Obviously, being on a test account, that was way easier than it probably will be. To make that weapon, we need 2 sharpening potions. I'm gonna have to do math. So to make those 2 sharpening potions, we need 12 gold sand, which we also get from forging. And to make the gold sand, we need these items, which we get from commissions, it looks like. These are combat stages which use Sanergy, which is, I guess, the resin equivalent for this game. Repulsive crystals can be dropped by any enemy. I'm assuming that's rare. Or we can forge it. Most of the materials do seem to be in the shop as well. I'm quite sure this is the currency you get after summoning and the lower tier version of it, because we also have brilliant grit. We can get weapons here or summon tickets. Resource wise, it is the same as the gold dust. I feel like these are lower grade materials. It seems like you can get most of them by enemy drops, but also from commissions or shop. And finally, 2 coolants, which seem to be the same as the previous item. Assuming the sharpening potion is the hardest thing to get, it doesn't seem that bad. Yeah, it's a lot of farming and probably a lot of synergy, but it's an exclusive 5-star weapon we're talking about here. We also need the grip and the blade to make the weapon. Okay, interesting. So we have a 30% chance to get one or the other. It looks by playing the defense commission. If I understand this correctly, that actually won't be as hard as I thought it would be. I guess you would need the blueprint as well, which has like a 2% drop chance. So we'll just see how that works running through defense real quick. So yeah, this character is really cool. She can just be like floating around for a very long time. All right, so we've gone through 3 waves, which was actually 9 waves because each wave is 3 waves. And after clearing the 3rd wave, we got 2 of these things. So we're gonna go ahead and retreat now just to kind of see how that works. It was a pretty long battle actually, 11.5 minutes, even though I feel like I'm quite overpowered for this stage. It is the easiest stage, but the rest were locked. I'll be honest, this is a little confusing, but apparently with these items, we can use them as currency to challenge these stages. Then through this, we can choose the letter we want to use, 16 in this case, because we are trying to get the, grip and blade here. We have to defeat 40 enemies here, and the map does appear to be pretty large. You know, we got like doors going around here. Oh, wait, do we lose HP in this mode? I probably should have read how she works. Good old classic Moga. We have enough stats, so we don't really need to understand the little details about her, I guess. Or maybe we do. We've made it to the end. We can select one of the 3 materials, so that's cool. Unfortunately, we didn't get lucky and hit that 20% chance or whatever to get, the tier 2 rewards. But the fact we can select is cool, so that if we already get the hilt or the blade, we can just choose the other one when we get lucky enough to hit the 20% chance or whatever it was. So I do kind of want to look at this weapon system a little more. Here we currently have the scythe. I mean, it looks pretty cool. Let's try the charge attack. And we also currently have pistols, it's pretty basic. So let me swap both weapon types now. Sure, let's just equip this whip sword and a bow. Here we have the whip weapon. It attacks quite a bit slower, but has much more range. And then we have like multiple different charge attacks there. That was AoE sort of in front of me. Then we have like a piercing one with the bow. We just continually fire, also very AoE-esque. This one, I guess we do run out of ammo pretty fast because we're firing like 6 arrows at once. And now we just can't use it anymore, especially because we're like not even in battle. All right, what's this looking like now? Okay, actually quite a bit faster than I was expecting for a greatsword. Probably still slower than some other weapons. Okay, we got the Beyblade. Damn, the crossbow fires very, very fast for it being a crossbow. It's like a fully auto crossbow, but the projectiles actually do have some travel time, so it still works different than like an assault rifle or something. It makes this challenge in particular a little hard with these moving guys. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. That was actually a pretty good like testing ground. Whatever. Ooh, we got the dual swords here. Those are usually very fast. Want to try them? And sure, this grenade launcher. Oh yeah. Oh my God. That's even faster than I was expecting. Look at that. Oh, I might have to go for that. That's crazy. I love fast attacking things. I think that was a charge attack. Gee, look at that, dude. That's so cool. You probably can't hear any sound effects. I don't really know what's up with that. Beta stuff, I guess. The grenade launcher, it fires a lot of bullets at once. I assume there's some AoE there. A little hard to see out of combat probably. But yeah. Has a pretty long reload time. Probably not my favorite thing. I imagine it does a lot of damage though. Ooh, katanas as well. That is a big sword. Oh, that crossbow looking thing is actually under the assault rifle brand. I assume those have faster projectiles. So even within the same class, I guess there are at least subtle differences. Let me look at that. Okay, no, that's completely different. That's just an energy ray. Okay. Even so, just to keep this section not too long, we're gonna stick to one of each class. Oh, okay. There's the katana. Yeah, that's so cool. Oh, that's so sick though. The attacks, I guess, are a little slower, but the animation, look at that. Just, oh, I like that a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, we got the classic sword as well. We also got single pistol, so sure, we'll give that one a look-see. What more can you expect? This one in particular sometimes throws out bigger energy balls, which is cool. And then energy sword. Yeah, I mean, it still looks cool. I really wonder if the effects are because she's like in this outfit. That would be way too much work, right? Let's check out that charge attack. Yeah, it's just a stab. You know, I mean, it's cool, but yeah, it's just a sword. Finally, we got shotguns. Oh, interesting. There's a tiny little QTE per shot. So, oh, that's big. We're gonna hold it, and then if it gets to that, I guess, area, it's the big ball, And then if you do it earlier, it's probably a small ball. Oh no, if you just tap it, it's like a line. A fast moving line. These weapons are so unique though, Jesus. It's not just like damage and stats. These are like completely different things going on here. That is wild. I want to look at the other shotgun now. I guess this one is more typical. It just fires a thing, but it stays there for a bit and then explodes into a little flower. Oh, you're shooting little flowers. That's so cute. Does it hurt me? No. It's like little mines there. That's funny. I did want to try this sword on someone else to see if there's still the blue. Wait, what? Is that the same sword? Do all the weapons actually have different effects depending on who equips them? No way, dude. This is too much. I must have just chosen a different weapon. No, what that is the one. It was just the normal sword. It was this one. Ingenious Tactics. Maybe I'm easily impressed. I don't know. Now I deploy Psyche with Ingenious Tactics equipped. The effects are completely different. We have like blue and black energy stuff going on there. Okay, I definitely wasn't expecting that. I am very curious to see how this tiny character deals with the katana though. I think the katana is smaller for her perhaps. Maybe that's what it is, which is also crazy. Because like every character can hold on to every weapon, so they like customize all this stuff for everyone. Look at it. Look. That is so cute. So the animation is basically the same. But it's like, even this cute little character looks cool doing it though, I gotta say. That's so funny. But I guess that's all I'll show of the weapons for now, but color me impressed, wow. Not only are some of them like extremely unique, but the fact like the effects are customized per character was completely unexpected. I mean, I'm not sure if it's like that for every weapon and every character, you know. But yeah, hopefully now you have at least a general understanding of the game. And if it's something you'd be interested in, I'll of course have a link in the description below as well as the pinned comment, so make sure to check that out. For me, what really stands out about DNA is the combat and customization. It's clear to see the creative aspects that went into development. If we dig a little deeper into like character kits and the basically infinite combinations, both visually and mechanically, it becomes even more interesting. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Leaving a like or subscribing to the channel if you enjoyed is always greatly appreciated as well. Thanks, as always, for watching, and until next time.